We'd like to start the press conference by Minister Motegi. The floor is yours, Minister. Thank you. I do not have any opening statements. Thank you. They will take your questions. If you have any questions, when you're designated, please come to the microphone stand and then respond to your question. I would like to ask Yamamoto-san from NHK, please. Yamamoto from NHK, thank you. I would like to ask about the peace treaty negotiations with regard to Russia. As you know, there was a national plebiscite referendum in Russia, and now amendment of the constitution will take place. With this amendment in the Kunashiri Island in Northern Territories, I understand that the monument commemorating this has been established by the authorities. Now, provision preventing secession of the land territory, I believe, is part of the situation. How do you see the situation in Russia? And also, what impact will this have in terms of the negotiation going forward? I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you. With regard to various movements and actions, we are aware. On top of that, with regard to the peace treaty negotiation, the Japanese government, this is a negotiation to take place between the governments. Prime Minister Abe and President Putin has agreed on this, and we would like to continue to tenaciously, persistently pursue the negotiation based on the basic policy, resolving the territorial issue, and solving peace, signing a peace treaty. Thank you.
Next question, Hasegawa-san. AFP, Hasegawa is my name. Regarding Hong Kong, and China has adopted a Hong Kong national security law, and British government and others are going to entertain Hong Kong people coming into their countries. And what is your Japanese government's reaction? Well, on that point, the Standing Committee of the NPC passed this law despite strong concerns expressed by international community in Hong Kong, and the law has been adopted, which is very, very regrettable. Hong Kong is an extremely important partner for Japan, with which Japan maintains close economic ties and people-to-people exchanges. It is long-standing position of Japan to attach great importance to upholding a free and open system and the democratic and stable development of Hong Kong under one country, two systems framework. That is a policy. At this point in time, the adoption of this law, Japanese companies and the Japanese nationals living in Hong Kong, I have not received any report in relation to this law that Japanese people or companies have suffered. Currently, about 26,000 Japanese people and 1,400 Japanese companies are operating in Hong Kong. The future of the one country, two systems framework is very important for Japan that has close economic relation and people-to-people exchange with Hong Kong. In order to protect Japanese nationals also, we like to closely monitor the implication and impact of this law going forward. Furthermore, going forward, Hong Kong's as an international financial center, the position of Hong Kong as the center, how it is going to be changed, because there are very highly talented people working there. What they are thinking of is something we would like to analyze going forward. Thank you very much.
Next question, Mr. Azahari from Pan Orient, please.
Minister, there are reports that the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution calling for a global ceasefire in order to fight pandemic COVID-19 appropriately. But it seems they had the exception that the war on so-called Islamic State should continue. What is Japan's position on this and why? Thank you.
Thank you. We welcome the fact that on July 1st, New York Times, a resolution related to a novel coronavirus was unanimously adopted at the United Nations Security Council. Now, with regard to the fight against extremism, to prevent the resurgence of ISIL and the international spread of extremism, there is a need to continue efforts by the whole of the international community. Also, for the peace and stability of the Middle East, inclusive of Syria and Iraq, we need international coordination and collaboration. As far as Japan is concerned, in order to eradicate the breeding ground for extremism, we will continue to collaborate and coordinate with the international community and work toward the peace and stability of the Middle East. Thank you.
Takao-san of Kyodo News. Takao, Kyodo News, thank you. Regarding Hong Kong, once again, I want to ask a question. The Hong Kong National Security Law, which was enacted earlier, State Secretary Pompeo said that this is an issue of global importance. Therefore, we have to coordinate with relevant countries because this is a war between liberalism and authoritarianism. What is Japan's reaction? Basic stance of the Japanese government. The other day, I issued a statement as a foreign minister, and also as I have just answered the previous question in Hong Kong national security law. Regarding this issue, I have been coordinating with the United States and other relevant countries to respond. The other day, G7 foreign ministers issued a statement, and we expressed grave concern on this matter. We are going to continue to coordinate with relevant countries to request China to respond appropriately. Thank you. In relation to that, I have another question. The U.S. Congress has introduced a sanction-related law, and the sanction is targeting the financial institutions which do business with China. Going forward, Japan, is it going to introduce sanctions? What is your view? I am not going to comment on individual policy of the United States government, but regarding the latter part of the question, I have already answered.
Next question, please. Goto from Yomiuri Shimbun. I would like to ask about the support for COVID-19 response to emerging countries. The Japanese government has been providing grant aid to Southeast Asia and African countries. I understand that ultimately 100 countries will receive that assistance. Can you share with us the update? And also, I think this is assistance taking place in an unprecedented space. Can you talk about by when do you intend to realize this assistance? To be quite candid, we've been implementing this assistance at an unprecedented pace. So, cabinet decision has been undertaken under unprecedented speed to date. So with regard to response to novel coronavirus, it is extremely important that we have international coordination, in particular assisting vulnerable countries who have a very weak health system and medical support system. Preventing the spread of infection is an immediate issue for Japan as well as for the international community. We have been calling forth for such assistance, and we've been leading the way in terms of providing such an assistance. In the first supplementary budget, we've been able to incorporate a grant for the purpose of providing medical-related equipment to the emerging countries. And so that this could be supplied to 100 different countries. I've been taking part personally in various discussions on this front, and we've been carrying out coordination at an unprecedented speed so far. Up until now, we have completed cabinet decisions related to 81 countries so far, and with 30 countries already, we have already signed exchange notes. And we have been pursuing procedures for procurement accordingly. So compared to the past ODA initiative, I think this is an unprecedented pace. With regard to the remaining countries, we would like to, as soon as possible, pursue these procedures. Thank you.
Other questions? Goto-san, another question. Yomiuri, another question. From Japan to Korea, there is export control. Related to the export control on the semiconductor-related items to Korea, it's been 1 year, and the Korean government is going to bring the matter forward to WTO. What is your reaction? Between the two countries, we have had an export control authorities level meeting. However, despite such a dialogue, the other day, Korea requested WTO dispute resolution body to set up a panel, which is very regrettable. Japan is going to follow WTO agreement procedures and respond to the matter appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to conclude the press conference at this juncture. Thank you for your participation.